Without a pure life, no one can attain the purest supreme soul. At dawn, on the banks of Pampa Sarovar, Maharishi Matang was speaking to his disciples. Therefore, observe purity in thought, word, and deed, mansa, vacha, karmana. Let your food be pure, your attire pure, and every behavior of yours be holy. Always keep in mind compassion for all living beings and devotion to the name of God. Only then will you be able to see Him in every object of the universe, be it sentient or insentient, vine or tree. This is true religion. This religion is forever free from the obstacles of caste and lineage. The Maharishi and his disciples had departed. Shabari was rolling in their footprints as if she had found a priceless treasure. From behind the cover of a tree, she had listened to all the sage's teachings and commands. Her eyes were raining tears. Shabari's mind had been restless since her childhood. She would shudder at the sight of the slaughter of innocent animals and birds. Seeing their blood-stained bodies, she would close her eyes. She would hide her face in a lonely corner and start crying. Her days passed in anxiety, grief, and distress. She grew into a young woman. Preparations for her marriage were made. Her husband was a warrior. He could kill 2 birds with a single arrow. Even the fastest-running deer could not escape from before his eyes. Shabari also heard the praises, but she writhed in pain. Going into solitude with a restless mind, she began to pray to the sustainer of the world. Lord, save me from sins. I am the lowliest of the lowly, a foolish woman. I have no knowledge of the path. Protect me, Lord. I take refuge in you. As she prayed, the night grew deep. Shabari decided upon her duty. It was midnight. The reign of silence was everywhere. In the sky, the stars stared blankly as if bewildered. Shabari quietly slipped out of the house on tiptoe and vanished into the dense forests. She had no regard for the thorn-filled path, the river, the forest, or the mountain. She kept running towards an uncertain place. At that time, her only thought was that she should not fall into the hands of her parents. Escaping from violence, she wished to remain a lifelong celibate and devote herself to the worship of the Lord. In her flight, she had no consciousness of her body or mind. There was neither hunger nor thirst. After 2 days, she reached Pampa Sarovar. She was exhausted. Morning had arrived. Redness had spread over the eastern horizon. At that time, she heard the discussion of Matang Rishi, who had come for a bath. The sight of the Maharishi had a wonderful impact on her mind. Today, she experienced an unprecedented peace. She decided to stay there, but thinking that her presence might obstruct the penance of the sages, she built a small hut far from the sages' ashram for her residence. She had understood that the life breath of God is His devotees. Once the grace of the devotees is obtained, the vision of God will surely be attained. While 1 watch of the night was still remaining, she would sweep the ground around the sages' huts and the path leading to Pampa Sarovar. Lest even a pebble prick the feet of any Maharishi or their fortunate devotee, she would sweep repeatedly, sprinkle water, and scatter fragrant flowers. She would leave piles of dry wood at the doors of the huts so that the sages would not have to face any trouble in bringing wood for the sacrificial fire, samhita. This was Shabari's daily task, but the sages were amazed. Who performs this service secretly? The sages could not decide. The disciples kept watch. Shabari was caught. The disciples presented her before Matang Rishi. Shabari was trembling. She did not have the courage to speak. She felt like an offender to the sage. Matang Rishi looked at her. From his mouth came the words, "Caste cannot hinder devotion to God. Shabari is a supreme devotee of God." The disciples began to look at each other's faces. Maharishi Matang said to Shabari, "Stay near my hut. I will make arrangements for your cottage." Shabari prostrated like a staff on the earth. Tears of love began to flow from her eyes. Today, her fortune had dawned. Now she would be able to serve the Maharishi, the treasure of penance, openly. Other sages became angry with Matang Rishi. The Maharishi has acted without authority. He is violating the boundaries of decorum. The sages, practitioners of strict penance, could not understand the glory of a devotee of God. Vile woman, she touched me, I will have to bathe again. Crazed with anger, a sage scolded Shabari and went back towards Pampa Sarovar. Shabari was walking along, absorbed in meditation. She had no awareness of the sage. She didn't even notice the sage's outburst. She was returning from the lake intoxicated with the form and name of her life treasure, the Lord. The sage did not bathe. Worms had appeared in the lake. The water had turned to blood. Dejected, they returned without bathing. I will not be able to live without you, sage lord. Shabari, weeping bitterly, was saying to Maharishi Matang, you alone are my support. Only through you have I received the good fortune of serving the sages even slightly. Staying at your lotus feet, I am becoming desperate to attain God. Without you, I will belong to nowhere. I will not even be able to achieve the ultimate goal, Paramartha. Lord, I too will give up my life along with you, O Master. Do not be restless, daughter. Matang Rishi consoled Shabari. My final hour has come near. I must go. But you stay for now. Lord Rama, the son of Dasharatha, is coming here soon. You will behold him, and all your spiritual practice will be completed. The sage abandoned his mortal body. Shabari cried out. The Maharishi's word will surely come true. God will arrive in Dandaranya. I will get his vision. Shabari began to live intoxicated with joy. Even at the rustling of a leaf, she would be startled, wondering if the Lord had arrived. Every day, she would clean the path for miles, waiting for the Lord. The sages were certain that God will visit my place first. God arrived and immediately began asking for the address of Shabari's hut. The sages were astonished. The Lord, the embodiment of love, arrived at Shabari's hut. Ah, what can be said of Shabari? She was overwhelmed with love. Her voice was choked. Except for holding his feet, staring at the infinitely beautiful Lord and shedding tears, she could do nothing else. Nothing was in her control. Lord, I have kept fruits and roots collected for you, Shabari said after offering water for his hands and feet with great difficulty. Every day she kept selected sweet berries for the Lord. She brought those berries. She began to offer them with great love. The Lord began to eat them with joy. The Lord was experiencing such great taste and joy in those berries, as if his loving mother Kaushalyaji was feeding him. Seeing her desire fulfilled, she joined her hands with extreme happiness and began to pray with intense love. How shall I praise you? I am of a low caste and a very dull intellect, lower than the lowest, a most lowly woman. Among them, I am dull-witted and a sinner. Seeing her pure love and humility, the Lord replied, Listen, O lady, to the words of the Lord of the Raghus. I recognize only one relationship, the bond of devotion. Then the Lord described the ninefold devotion before her. Meanwhile, a group of sages arrived at Shabari's ashram to behold the Lord. At that time, the sages' pride in their knowledge vanished. They began to repent in their hearts for their disdain of Matang Rishi. From their mouths came the words, Shabari, you are blessed. Regarding the appearance of worms in the lake and the water turning to blood, Sri Lakshmanaji told the sages, This plight of the lake is due to your malice towards sage Matang, the insult of the lifelong celibate, renunciant, supreme devotee, and saintly Shabari, and because of your pride. It will become pure the moment Shabari touches it. According to the Lord's command, Shabari touched the lake, and its water became as clear as before. The Lord began to depart from her hut. Shabari became restless. The Lord had already granted her firm devotion to his feet. Now there was nothing left for her to attain. The Lord had fulfilled all her aspirations, so why would she continue to live apart from God? In the presence of the sages, she abandoned her earthly body. The sages began to chant her praises. Blessed was Shabari, and blessed was Shabari's loving, unparalleled devotion.